Welcome to Beardy, Bruce Lee Central.
Hey everybody, it's Birdie here. What's going on, guys? Okay, so big news, guys. For the first time exclusive to this channel, we have an official apology video from Chuck Norris himself. So the background story for this apology is that in the 60s and 70s, Chuck Norris had gone around lying to people, saying that he never trained with Bruce Lee and that Bruce Lee was never his teacher. And he wrote this letter that you see in the background here, saying that he was ashamed. He literally writes that he is ashamed to have lied to people and that he basically considers Bruce Lee to be his teacher, his friend, and he was really feeling bad that he had gone around lying to all these people. And in this video here, he admits finally that Bruce Lee and him trained together, they were equals, and that Bruce Lee would have been basically an MMA champion if he had competed in those days. So here is the official apology video. Here you go, guys.
Well, we worked out in his backyard, and he had a bag back there, so we did a lot of punching and a lot of kicking, and we did a lot of exercises, a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, But the thing is, Bruce was a very rare type of individual. Exercise, conditioning was his life. And when I did the movie with him, you know, and doing that fight scene with him, just seeing how fast he was and what an incredible athlete he was, it was really an honor to be able to fight against him in this film. And but the thing is that our exercise routine lasted about 3 hours, and it consisted of push-ups, sit-ups, kicking the bag, sparring. We'd spar what we call attacking techniques, where I'd attack him and he'd defend, then he would attack me and I would defend. And this went on for 3 years until he left for Hong Kong to pursue his movie career, which I've already told you about. But no, the thing is that we were respectful to each other as we worked out and sparred. No, Bruce and I never fought, you know, because he didn't have to go the competitive route. You know, Bruce was already a star, and he didn't have to become a fighter to develop that fame. I did. I had to become a fighter to develop the recognition that I got. Bruce didn't have to go that route. But I think if Bruce had, he would have done extremely well in the fighting realm. But he didn't have to go that route.
I said, oh wow, you know, and because I'd never met him. I'd seen him, you know, doing his stuff. And anyway, we kind of nodded at each other, and then I fought and won the championship. And Bruce Lee goes like this here. So I go down there and get off, you know, and we start talking. And he says, don't you live in LA? I says, yes. He says, I do too. So why don't we start training together? I said, okay. So Bruce and I worked out for 2 years together. He taught me a lot of his Chinese techniques, and I showed him a lot of our techniques of kicks and all the stuff here. He believed in only kicking below the waist. And I said, well, that's good, Bruce, except you should be able to kick anywhere. You should be able to put that foot anywhere. And so, you know, so we trained together for 2 years, and he got, as you could tell, he got really good at it. And anyway, and then finally he gives me a call, and he says, I'm leaving for Hong Kong to do a movie. And I said, oh, that's great. Well, good luck. So I don't hear from Bruce for 2 years. And then out of the blue, he gives me a call. He says, I've done 2 movies in Hong Kong, and they're really successful. He says, I want to do a movie now with a fight scene that's never been done before, and I want you to be my opponent. I go, and I've never done anything like that. I said, oh, you know why? Because I'm the world champion? Is that And I said, well, who wins, Bruce? He said, kidding. He said, I'm going to win. I'm the champ. I'm the winner. I'm the star. I said, oh, okay. So anyway, this big fight scene in Rome, and it was really, you know, because Bruce and I worked out for 2 years together, so we knew each other very, very well. I knew everything that he wants to do, and he knows everything that I like to do. And so when we did the fight scene, we pretty much just put it together right there. And anyway, we did the fight scene, and after it was over, I went back home, and then in 1972, I get a call. Bruce was coming to LA to see his doctor. And he says, so he says, let's have lunch. So we do. We have lunch. And he says, I'm going to see the doctor, and because I've got some problems. I'm getting dizzy and passing out. So I want to find out what it is. So anyway, so he goes to the doctor and does the whole thing. Anyway, after he does, we get back together, and I said, how'd it go? He says, well, the doctor says, you know, he's 32, he's the same age as me. We were both 32. And he says, the doctor says, I'm like an 18-year-old kid, you know. I said, oh, that's great. And I said, did he tell you why you're falling and doing all the falling and all that stuff? He says, he doesn't know. He says, you know, it could just be anything. So anyway, he leaves for Hong Kong. And a few months later, he passes away. And I was shocked. Anyway, when they went to Seattle, you know, just laying there, and we all went up. Me and a lot of friends that Bruce's went up there for the graduation, when he died. And Linda, his wife, decided to move back to California, and he found a home about maybe a half a block from my house, so I could spend time with Brandon, the boy. And I did. I spent a lot of time with him, you know, telling him about his dad and you know, and all this stuff here. And then of course he became a champion, star himself. And then unfortunately he wound up passing away. But the thing is that Bruce was an incredible guy, and this is, you know, and this time I spent with him going through this whole thing here was something that I will never forget about. And so this is about Bruce Lee.